everything is about teaching, right?
Yes.
Sarah, but you are a professional in the trucking industry, right? Tell me a little bit of secrets. What can we tell everyone as far as secrets for truckers or someone that's looking to get into the trucking industry? What are the secrets, or what are the secret programs?
2 things I would have done differently is A, I would have got funding prior. I jumped in, I had some cash, I used my cash for my truck, right? For my down payment. I had okay credit back then.
Right.
Not too many revolving lines, but if I knew different creative financing products like we have here, I might have been able to get a stated line of credit for $50K. I might have been able to get some funding and not have to come out of pocket so much for those expenses.
How much does a truck cost?
So it really depends. A lot of people get used trucks because they're a lot cheaper, right? You don't want to spend over $100K on a truck. You don't want to spend $150 on these newer trucks. But there are, of course, less breakdowns. But it really depends on where you are. I have people that
How about for the average Joe Schmo?
All right,
like
I would
myself.
say 60,000.
60,000. I want to get into
60,000.
trucking industry, or you know what? Everyone over there wants to get into trucking industry. What type of what's the plan? What is the game plan? First of all, how do I set it up?
Okay. So one thing I also help people do is I help them get compliant, right?
She's great at it.
Yes, I help people get compliant from A to Z. So here at Lemay Capital, Fun Rock Capital, we also help people establish
Don't
businesses.
be modest. What's your email? What is your email address, Sarah?
Sarah at
Sarah at LemayCapital.com. Go ahead, Sarah.
But when it comes to the trucking industry, people want box trucks, maybe 30K. People want trailers, maybe 10, 15,000, maybe up to 25,000.
Okay.
People want tractors, 40, 50,000, right? Like I said, the thing I would have done is I would have financed 2 trucks. I wouldn't have worked backwards.
Wait, but is that difficult?
Not if you have decent credit. And
what is decent credit?
So 680 plus credit score.
Could get you how much money?
It all depends on the program, but if you have a 680 plus credit score and then you're in one of our footprints, even without bank statements, I can still get you some traditional funding. I would have grabbed a few credit cards back then if I had the knowledge then that I had now. This was about 6-7 years ago I started with the trucking. Now I've moved on to also do business funding. I help people get funding every day. I wish I knew what I help my clients get. I wish I did that for myself back then.
Tell us, what is your credit score, right? Right. What is your credit score? Because listen, what we can do, right? How much money someone with a 680 credit score? What would you be able to get them?
It all depends.
Maximum credit cards, stated. This, that, and the third. What would you be able to get them? Minimum 150, right?
Minimum 150. If the credit profile qualified, like I mentioned, just 680 doesn't mean you're good. 800 doesn't mean you're good if you have a collections, if you have a bankruptcy, right? So once your profile is built out, once you're good to go, we tap business first. If you're open to personal, grab the personal. When it comes to opening a business, right? We have to not work backwards. We have to make sure we have the capital just in case. A lot of trucking companies go down. Why? They can't afford a breakdown. They can't pay their drivers anymore. Their routes got canceled. The shipper is now working with a different carrier, not you, right? You don't have those locked in routes, so you're looking for loads all the time. But if you would have had a 0% interest credit card to just quick get a $10,000 breakdown on, now you have a whole year with no interest to pay that back, and you also still probably will have funds left over on your credit card.
I'll be able to access you $150,000, right? $150,000. And what are the requirements again? Is what?
You need to have a 680 plus score. We're going to look at your file and underwrite it in-house before any bank takes a look at it to make sure you're not wasting your time or to prep you correctly. So we want to see that you already have some cards in your name. We want to see that you're not overextending your utilization, that you're not maxing out your cards. But when you come to us, we give you a plan of action. Always. It's either we're giving you a pre-approval, an in-house pre-approval based on what we see and our success based on profiles similar to yours, or we give you a plan of action. We tell you, hey, you should pay this down, you should pay this car down. We give you suggestions to help you get to.
What's your credit score? So, trucking company. How did you get started in the trucking industry?
So actually, you guys all know Stanley.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jose mentioned on our podcast earlier, he's a professional student. He loves to learn. He loves seminars. He loves mentorships, right? So one of his mentors that I believe taught him some about business funding, about credit card stacking, about credit repair, they also were getting into the trucking industry.
Mm-hmm.
So Stan really took all that knowledge, and we met through a mutual colleague where I actually helped him, start his business up. He already had a DOT number, but that's something I assist with, DOT numbers, compliance, when you have to pass an audit with the FMCSA. I was alongside Stanley helping him pass those audits, making sure he was compliant, making sure all drivers were drug tested and had all their paperwork that they needed. So when it comes to how I got in, I really am good with compliance. A lot of these owner-operators, they don't have time to even fax a document. They're on the road. They don't want to do it. So that's where I came in. But I came in, really delved in. I was about to give up. I was about to quit trucking and sell the truck. And then Stanley purchased 2 or 3 trucks himself and just went full steam ahead, taught me a lot, gave me autonomy back with my company. I was a younger woman back then. People might have took advantage of me. I had mechanics taking advantage of me. Maybe, I learned a lot. I learned to dispatch on my own alongside Stanley. So, it was really just being around the right people. And I think that, obviously Stanley works here too. Just being around people that really care. The only time I ever see a client...
What motivated you to actually become an entrepreneur?
The freedom, the money. I wanted to have a sense of ownership. I wanted to have a sense of ownership for a company of my own. I saved a lot of money. Like I mentioned, I wish I would have used my credit back then, but I had cash, right? And I saved all my money throughout high school, throughout college. I had $70K, and I said, let me just go full steam ahead because this is the time to learn when you're young. And I don't regret anything except, of course, getting some business funding. And now my next endeavor that I really want to do is real estate. If anybody has questions, ask questions. We're here for the questions. We have 0% interest cards. We have a lot of different funding options here depending on your strong suit. Even if you don't have a good credit score, we still have some options here.
If I gave you $150,000 today, would you use it, and what would you use it for?
Right.
Come on, guys.
This is our colleague Joe, too.
Joe.
Good,
there we go.
Actually,
now Joe's coming on. There we
I
go.
had a client called me. I had to step away real quick.
Yeah,
all right.
Very busy. Or what project are you working on? What real estate do you want to purchase?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to refinance? What credit cards do you see on YouTube that you want? What lines of credit are out there that you wish you had? What are you trying to open a restaurant? What's your dream? What are you trying to do? Because we've all had our own experiences, and it all led us together. And we can help you achieve what you want to do as well. That's a part of the reason we do what we do. That's a part of the reason Joe takes his calls and ignores Jose, because he cares about it. Because he cares about his client. He understands that when he funds the deal and he took that call instead of coming into our little meeting, that Jose's gonna be even more proud and happy because we got a deal closed and he saw something come to fruition. So we're here to help. Sarah at LendMate Capital, Joe at LendMate Capital, we're Fun Rock LendMate.
Who's these people?
Email
I'm just trying to figure out. Tell us your goals. What are your goals?
I see a bunch of people.
I know. You see the joining,
Yeah.
but I like this guy. This guy stayed on. What is his name? The guy with the handsome guy over here.
We got one watching right now.
I think he's watching for you. I don't know. Listen, we have the ability to make you or provide you access to $150,000, and trust me, your friends will be pissed because they didn't listen to this. Tell us, who are you? What do you do? What do you like? Say hello. Say hello to Joe. Say hello to Sarah.
Yeah, we also have our own community, Brokers Connection, where you get one-on-one time with all of us. You get to talk to us. You get insight into your files. So join Brokers Connection if you really want to talk to us one-on-one. If you really want that really detailed exclusivity when it comes to talking to us and having our attention. We're really good at what we do. We all work together.
Wait, stop being modest. You're amazing at what you do.
Yes, but you know, it's from learning from everyone. It's from learning from all of my colleagues, and yeah.
Yeah, I always say we all-purpose bankers. So real estate, mortgages, if you
Business
need
funding.
business funding, an SBA loan, a term loan, a
Personal
bank line
funding.
of credit.
No, can I ask you
personal
guys?
loans,
Can
personal
I ask you
credit
guys a
cards,
question?
like
All right. So
anything.
now, let me ask you a question. What was your now you guys do sales. What was the worst experience you ever had? Or the worst deal that ever died?
The worst deal that ever.
Because everyone talks about sales is, oh my God, Wolf of Wall Street, I make money, I do this, I do that.
I have a good one.
Tell me about the worst experience you ever had in sales that made you want to quit sales.
So I had a deal. It was $1 million fix and flip deal. We got this guy 100% financing, 100% on the purchase and the rehab. $1 million deal. I'm thinking everything's going great. Going through processing, underwriting, approval after approval. We're scheduled to close. I'll never forget this. It was January. We're scheduled to close January 31st. On the 30th, the underwriter contacts me like, we have a big issue. I'm like, what are you talking about? Your client, through another broker, submitted the deal in the past. We have issues with his operating agreement. Seems like he just changed the members on it, used the same date. So it's impossible to have the same people that sign on the same date, but it's two different docs.
How much money did you lose?
At least $10,000.
$10,000.
Easily $10,000.
There's no way. There's no way you would have made $10,000 on a
It
deal.
was $1 million fix and flip.
And how much could
deal.
you potentially have made?
I would have. We.
How much money would you have made? Then don't stutter.
Me personally,
Don't
I
stutter. Stop stuttering. The
All right,
people
yeah.
want to fucking
All right,
listen.
give me a second, Jesus. I would have made 10,000 because as a company we would have made 20,000. The guy
Okay.
had great credit. He had a lot of experience. Great REO. A lot of deals
Right.
done. So we would have made 20,000.
No one cares about that. How much money would you have made? How much money would you made?
Realistically, I would have made a lot more because he had like 5 other deals.
What does that mean? No one. That doesn't answer the question.
Jose,
How
can I
much
talk?
money would you have
Jesus
made?
Christ.
No, hold on. We're gonna go to
Let me
Sarah.
tell
We're gonna
the
go to
story.
Sarah. No, we're gonna go to Sarah because listen, Sarah, what was the worst experience you ever had in sales that made you want to quit?
Nothing made me want to quit because it takes perseverance, and also this is an industry where you might not make money this week, but you might hit a home run next month and make more money than any of your friends with a 9-to-5.
And this is why we love Sarah because she is just sugarcoats
Straight
everything. Go ahead.
And when it,
She's all about the company.
I am all about the company. I even said today, I don't even know the loan amount for some of my deals because I work just as hard on a $100,000 refinance as I do on $1 million. I'm like, oh, what are the terms show? $1 million? Oh yeah, sell
Better than
them.
me.
When it comes to me, every single deal, whether they only qualify for a small card or whether they qualify for a huge mortgage, I really care about the client. I just look at the deal. I focus on the deal. That's what gets me to the finish line because either you can hit a home run or you can hit a lot, or you can do a lot of small loans and you can make small commissions that all
Singles.
add up.
Sarah,
I've
I
had
understand
everything
that,
add
and we're
up.
gonna run around this. What was the time that you know what?
I got $1.
You know what? You wait. Hold on. It was
Okay,
you know what?
okay,
Forget about Jose. You know what? F you, Jose. F you, Stanley. F all you guys, because I've had that point.
All right.
What was that? Well, hold on. Wait. Hold on. What was that point? What was that deal? What happened? What was your mindset during that time?
I guess there was one deal I was really excited to close because it was a big number. And,
How much
Um,
was the commission?
I don't remember. It was
You have to remember.
Yeah, I would have
There's a
remembered.
year
It would have
ago.
been. It would have been a lot. It was.
How
it was,
much? How
it
much?
was like
Give us a number.
24,000 or something.
24,000.
It was like 24,000 bringing to the company.
Can I ask you a question? How much time did you spend on that 24,000?
A lot of time.
You
I
spent a lot of time?
It was
Really?
it was a woman that was her house was gonna be foreclosed. We have
I think I remember this
yes,
one.
and I did a lot of work for her, a lot of mentoring. We tried to get a lot of exceptions. we're cool with our lenders, so we were trying to pull every exception, but she was just late.
Significant amount of money.
I was like answering calls.
Yeah, if you
working.
guys have
I
any
just
questions, you know, we're
stepped
here.
up.
We're here for you if you want funding, if you want a mortgage or a real estate deal done, or if you have someone else and you want to refer them over. You know, we're here for all your needs over here. And like I said,
Every state, any loan amount, unit count that's on the mortgage.
sometimes
side.
you just have to spice up what you're doing. You know, sometimes it could get monotonous. It could make you feel bogged down if clients aren't eligible or you're not closing deals. But like I mentioned, that little competition, it just sparked us, and you know, I got 2 term sheets out of it with Joe. You know, Joe closes the mortgages for me. So when it comes to just, you know, sprucing up how you go about your day-to-day routine, you can actually make money. Like Joe always says, go interact with clients. Face-to-face is better.
Oh yeah,
He
I talk
really
to people
believes in that.
everywhere. No
Yeah.
matter where I'm at, I could be out having a drink at the bar. I could be at a museum in the city.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're here in New York, so you know, there's a lot of people everywhere. I'm talking to everybody. I'm telling them, hey, I do mortgages. I do business funding. What you need? We're a one-stop shop. We're the best, you know, marketplace, I think.
He has a lot of outside clients, and you know, those are really quality clients because you know them. You know what their needs are.
Jose over here being director. So yeah, you know.
So yeah, well, how much money do you guys want to make? We want to know what you guys want to make. We want to know what your goals are. We're on here really to interact with you, have a conversation with you, go through any deals, anything you want to run by us, any questions you have, whether it's about credit, whether it's about derogatories, whether it's about business funding, fix and flips. We can fund new fix and flips, right? No experience. you
Oh yeah,
said?
we got new program we have for first time investors on the fix and flip side. We'll fund you. I've seen approvals 85% of the purchase, 100% of the rehab for people with no experience, which is unheard of. No
Right.
one else is doing that. So
We are direct lenders over here when it comes to real estate. So anything you think you can't get done with someone else, run it by us. See if we have an appetite for it over here.
we work with every bank, every direct lender, private lender, hard money lender in America, pretty much, you know. But we also fund directly ourselves. So we have an underwriting team here.